Okay, why don't you? Thank you.
Got it. It's on.
Thank God, Julia. Thank God for Julia. Woo! Okay. Welcome, everybody. Happy Sunday. I hope it's not too loud for you. If somebody wins the jackpot, you'll certainly hear that. But tonight I wanted to talk to you about a couple things. The first was we're heading towards the end of the year. And I want to talk to you about bucket list and what was on your bucket list in 2024 that you did not accomplish and why, right? Because it is really important to measure your success, right? And how do we measure success? Well, we know that our paychecks are a direct reflection of how many people we help get healthy or get wealthy, right? So if your paycheck wasn't enough this year, it's because you didn't help enough people this year. That is the truth. That's right. There's only one way to measure it. That's how we measure that. So how do we make more money? We help more people. So as you guys know, we're starting a 5-day habit creating challenge at the beginning of the year. And that hopefully will lead to an everyday challenge for the whole year. But it's going to be based on daily contribution to people around you that need to either get healthy or wealthy, and you helping them do that, which will then, of course, increase your paycheck and so on. So, I know we talk a lot about residual income, but I don't really think people grasp the full concept of why we do that, right? How many of you have something on your bucket list that you can't even imagine how much it's going to cost? Right? But after getting residual income, right, for the past 17 years now, we're at that point that nothing seems ridiculous. Nothing seems out of our reach. Nothing seems impossible, right? There was a time where I had things on my bucket list and I'm like, Egypt, go see the pyramids, right? Like that's ever going to happen. But of course it's on there because why wouldn't it be until it happens, right? One of the things I love coming to Vegas the most about is we get to hang out with cool friends. We have friends that live here, and then we have other friends that say, "Oh, you're going to Vegas? I'll meet you there." Right? Casey's going to be here in a couple hours, and she's going to meet us here and watch some football. And it's one of the best things about residual income is that we're not tied to the house. We can really truly build our business from here, from home, from a cruise ship, really from our car, from anywhere we happen to be. And that's so beneficial. And one of the things that Blake was telling us on our training we did with him last Friday night was he said the younger millennials, that is the number one reason they join businesses like this is because they don't want to be in one place. They don't even want to own houses. It's not weird.
Don't own anything.
Like right. When we were growing up, like owning houses, we all wanted to own a house. That's not even on their bucket list anymore. Their bucket list is to find a job that they can do mobile so they can go travel and build a business and make money and do whatever they want and not buy a house and not be accountable to any one area, right?
Yeah.
So.
Not a bad idea.
I know. So tonight's topic changed slightly when I got an email yesterday, actually this morning, from Dr. Chris. A lot of you know Dr. Chris already, but he lives here in Las Vegas. We're friends forever. But one of the reasons we love coming here is because we get to spend time with Chris and Sandy, and they're just so fun. And our trip was going to be a 3-day trip, and then it was 5-day, and then it was 7, and then something came up. We're like, well, I guess we'll stay for 10 days. Like on the 17th, we'll see. I don't know. We may stay till Christmas. Like
you're gonna need a lot of HPR.
The benefit of the business is you can build your business anywhere you want at any time, even from the lobby of a casino, right? And isn't that what truly we all are after? So I want you guys all to think about your vision board and your bucket list. And what are the things that you put on that list in 2024 that you haven't accomplished yet? And I say yet because there's still a couple weeks left. It's not over until it's over. And it's not over. We have a couple weeks left. And I want you to go for it. And I'm not saying go for it like we know that you're not going to get a touchdown every single time, right? You're not going to hit the home run every single time you go to bat. but it is your duty as an associate to go to bat every time. Okay, I'm going to say that again. You're not going to hit a home run every time, but it is your duty to yourself, to your team, to us, who you said, I'm in this to build a business. It's your duty to go to bat, even if you're not going to hit a home run, even if your plan is to bunt. Even if your plan isn't to hit that home run, it's still, you got to still do it. And here, I'm going to tell you why. This morning, we were listening to Tom Brady on a show, like football thing. And he was talking about, as a quarterback, he knows that not every pass is going to be a touchdown. And that's not his goal. Every pass is not his goal. Every pass he makes, every time he touches the football, his goal is to get his team 1 yard further than where they started. Think about that. So as leaders of the team, we keep introducing things, and we keep introducing new things, and we keep introducing new people and new ideas, and because our goal is to get this team 1 step closer to a touchdown, 1 step closer to the end goal with everything we do, everything we introduce, right? So when Chris emailed me this morning, my brain was like on fire with ideas because he has done the coolest thing. So at the anniversary party, he and Mary Esther were together, had an awesome talk. He's got her book. He's been doing a lot of deep dive into our products, especially since LFT launched. And I'm going to let you talk about the 2 reports that you sent me this morning, because it blew my mind. And I want you guys to all know about it.
So on top, so thank you, Tina. Especially just to finish off what,
There we go.
But what she, shared, the whole idea is just remember, and with your businesses and in life, what can you do each day to improve 1% every day, right? And, right, 1% every day.
There we go.
And at the same time, and how are you measuring that? Because as Tom Brady would say, if you want to win the game, you got to know the score. And I tell that with my patients too. I say, look, guys, if I want to win this game, I got to know the score. I got to know data. I got to know your lab work. I got to know your MRIs or X-rays. I got to see where you're at, so I know exactly what offense and defense to put on the field to help you win and score a touchdown when it's all said and done, right? So the other thing too is, so I kind of went down this. My wife Sandy right now. She's in Japan, and I think she's coming home tomorrow or the next day. She's been having some fun with her daughter, but it gives me the opportunity to kind of go down this rabbit hole. And what I did was I was really looking at in my as a functional medicine, as a chiropractor, but I'm also a functional medicine practitioner. How can we, based on our lab work or even DNA work we've had in the past, how can we figure out what are the best APL lozenges to use for them, right?
Hold it up like this
okay.
for you so they can hear you better.
Okay.
There we go.
Yeah, so that's one of the main things too. So I figured it out. I put something together, and I'm like, oh wow. So I actually looked at one of my labs from a DNA test from years ago, and then I put it into with just kind of, it's like this system I have where I could have like an algorithm to figure out what's what. Well, based on a DNA test that I took back in 2011, okay, right, and it literally told me from there, like, okay, based on what you're experiencing and what you are by genetic makeup, this is what's going to support from APL your DNA code. I'm like, wow, that was pretty cool. So that's the first thing I said. And that was, I think Tina got that at 2 or 3 in the morning.
2, 3 in the morning, yes.
And then the next thing I know, I'm going down the rabbit hole even more, and I'm looking at my clock going, all right, it's 4:30 in the morning, and my dogs are looking at me funny. So it's time for me to go to bed. I wake up, let's say a few hours later, get back on the computer again, and I get some of my blood work, and with everything I'm doing, I went, all right, let's see, from simple blood work. And nothing doesn't have to be too comprehensive, but just kind of like the basic blood work you get from your doctor once a year. I threw that information in, and voila, it even told me like in real time, all right, based on what you're experiencing, this is what you should be taking from APL. So
cool.
that opens up another conversation, right? As far as who might be interested in that, to really personalize APL Go based on your lab results, whether it's DNA or blood, and blood tests more or less are a snapshot of time. But let's just say we can now, especially in my practice, I can let people know what do they need nutritionally to support their DNA and to support their own health at the physiological level to allow their body to thrive and deal with whatever they're dealing with. So I'll let you
Okay. So do you think that would be a cool thing to have somebody available to analyze a blood test, even help you get the proper blood test,
right,
or a DNA test, run it through his formula that he's created, and his algorithm, and it'll tell you exactly which DNA drops are needed based on one of those reports. Really cool, right? So, okay, but you got to read your reports because that was cool. So the report, the algorithm he came up with doesn't just tell you which drop, but it tells you why that drop is something your body needs in the moment. I mean, it was the coolest report. I was like, we got to talk about this.
So I put my
All right,
on.
so here we go. We're going to read one of the reports.
So for example, like, cholesterol, right? And it says, all right, so you have the number, and then it says take HRT, right? And basically, because of the cardioprotective and cholesterol lowering properties that HRT provides you. Pretty cool, all right? And then the other one too was vitamin D, right? If it's lower, GROW, GRW is ideal for that, okay? Because it helps support immune function and may complement vitamin D supplementation. So I thought that was cool. And also, too, some other tests that you guys may not be getting from your doctors, but I'm going to really encourage you to highly request it from them are the inflammatory markers, like C-reactive protein, right? So C-reactive protein kind of measures if the cholesterol in your blood vessels is sticking to your blood vessels, sticking into the inner walls, like it's sticky, right? So that's inflammatory. So MLS is a great way to help reduce inflammation, okay, or any kind of inflammatory. And then the glucose a little high, NRM, right? Because that's best known for their glucose regulating properties. And lastly, liver health, right? HPR.
So you know what I thought was cool is at the beginning of the report, it said, based on the lab blood test results and the other one it said of a 50-year-old man in pretty good health. And it says, we recommend the following. And then it gives the list of the 7 or 8?
Yeah.
7 or 8 lozenges, which lozenge and why it's recommended specifically for Dr. Chris. I mean, really.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
So it's not like a one lozenge fits all thing. Everyone is dealing with certain things at different points of their life, right? I'm dealing with some things differently than I did in my 20s. I'm 53 now, right? So you have to account for that. But also, what got me really encouraged by doing something like this is because of LFT. Now we're talking about longevity. Now we have the ability to really help LFT do the work that we want it to do based on, okay, now I know what my body's missing to make a difference to, one, be healthier, and 2, pull back, stop time a little bit, slow it down. So that way it's not rapidly accelerating. I think that's kind of cool. I mean, right? So it's like, we all want to know what is the fountain of youth. Well, the fountain of youth is getting some knowledge, understanding why in your body in particular, because it's not a one size fits all, but then executing it. So then you can put things into action to help you. And I guess with something like this, you probably help people on your team too, right?
Yeah.
Right. So how much value does that add? So now you are really starting to get that physician experience like I have with your own clients and team members. Yeah.
It's so cool. And so we're going to look at coming up with a website or an app or some way to get all the information easily where you could be talking to somebody in real time. If they have some kind of test, some kind of DNA test, some kind of blood test, plug it into this system, and then immediately within minutes know exactly what they need for their health. I love the report about the DNA report because I think because it gave multiple drops from multiple genetic markers, and LFT was on like almost all of them.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Right.
I mean, well, how first of all, how can LFT not? I mean, it's longevity, right? I mean, what can we do to just like this is going to help slow down the clock. It's going to help reduce inflammation. It's going to help process things better. It's going to help your liver health. It's going to help all that stuff, reduce inflammation. I mean, that's the bottom line, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So cool.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, guys. So cool,
yeah.
right? Even if you took, a basic DNA test, you'd be able to plug in the information or plug it into the website, however we are able to come up with it.
And also a basic blood test too, that your doctors run on you, once a year. We could then also, like I said, I run some complicated, some comprehensive ones. It doesn't have to be that way. It could be anything for anybody. But as long as we have data, at least we can now, instead of guessing what you need, we can now do things with more as like a sniper and say, all right, that's the target. That's what we got. We got that down. So now instead of guessing, we can test.
And also plus, because for the last 4 years, we've been talking about, well, how do you feel right now? What are your 2 biggest health challenges? What if they don't know? What if, Kelly and I, we come out of the genetics and the DNA industry. And we were always about prevention. So now they can say, I'm dealing with these 2 challenges. But if they were to do some kind of basic DNA report and see what's lacking, then they can do products that will prevent those from happening instead of waiting until it's too late, till it's already happening, and then trying to fix the problem.
There we go.
So,
and then, when you think about how things are going to change in the next 4 years, right? I mean, this is the kind of stuff that's what people are wanting. They want to go, now we're going to be entering a time period where we can basically capitalize on and just enjoy, everything's going to change in the next 4 years. I mean, businesses are going to be doing better. The economy is going to change. And also people's health is going to change because, the powers that be, are going to be highly questioned or eliminated, because it's just, it's dumb. People are tired of being sick. People are tired of these BS results that they get from their doctors. And I've said this many times. Tina and I have had conversations of, the general practitioner is going to be replaced pretty soon. I mean, think about it. They don't really tell you anything worthwhile, and everything they do anyway is based on a prescription. So, a simple robot can do that now. So I just said, or Dr. Google, right? How many people are doing that?
WebMD. When that came out, it changed the game.
Yeah. Now, don't get me wrong. There's a place for everything, but in the grand scheme of things, people are starting to realize, especially after COVID, the last person I want to see to get healthier is my doctor. Maybe you can tell me what's wrong with me, but I'll take it from there what I need to do next.
Yeah. So again, right, we're being the quarterbacks here, getting the field one step closer to the goal with information, right? Knowledge is power, and giving people information they may not have had before, in addition to information about our amazing lozenges, is just going to get them one step to getting healthier. And when you help people get healthier, what happens? You get wealthier, right? We know this. And this is what people are looking for. There's 2025 is right around the corner. What is on everyone's bucket list? What is on everyone's New Year's Eve list? Take my health into better shape, right? Maybe work out, maybe eat better. Almost everybody every year has something to do with their health on their New Year's challenge. And then 30 days later, they're like, oh, I already blew it, so forget it. And 11 months go by and now they're writing it down again, right? Health is so vastly important for just about everyone on the planet. And I always used to think, why would millennials care about their health? They think they're superhuman, like I did. I thought I was superhuman until I was about 35, and I was like, maybe I'm not, right? Yeah. But now there's so much knowledge online that they see and that they read and that they hear about health that we don't. So we were actually at an event in Scottsdale yesterday with almost all 30-year-old, 25, 30-year-olds, and they were all wanting to hear about health. Every single one of them said that's on their number one thing is staying healthy. So I think they've just raised in a different time where their moms don't cook at home every night like mine did. I mean,
Well, yeah, I mean, think about, our childhood, being Gen Xers, right?
Yeah.
I mean, our parents used to encourage us to go play out in the middle of the street, because they want us to get out of the house. We were driving them crazy. So my father could read the newspaper, right? We drank out of the water fountain. We ate dirt. I mean, we
played in the dirt.
We didn't worry about germs other than, hey, wash your hands before you eat something. I mean, not wash your hands every time you touch something.
Right.
It was just a different time to be with your friends, to ride a skateboard, ride your bike, use your body. If you had cereal in the morning, you knew you were going to work it off because you had to ride your bike or walk to school. Not be driven by your parents. I mean, there was a lot of freedom and a lot of fun times to live back then. And that's just how it is. But you think about today, with the kids today, think of how many things they've been exposed to that you and I weren't. I mean, stress and anxiety. We didn't have social media. The only time we got the news was from a newspaper at 4 o'clock,
right,
or the evening news.
Yeah.
I mean, we didn't have it 24/7. We didn't have any of these. We didn't even have a pager. We had 20 cents to call our folks if we were coming home late for dinner. That was about it. So, our stress levels were completely different back then. My stress levels were, God, I just got to get home before my mom gives me a whooping if I don't get home by dinner.
Right.
Right. And that's the only stress I had.
Think about health, because a lot of what I learned about health came from PE class. Like, that's where I learned about health and nutrition and that kind of stuff was PE, right? And I remember getting out of PE was like practically impossible. Like, there's nothing you could do or say, no excuse was good enough. And I recently read that the number one reason that kids get out of PE classes nowadays is stress and anxiety.
And that's crazy because PE is supposed to help you with stress and anxiety.
Yeah, I don't remember having any stress when I was a kid. Like,
remember there was always that one person that had a mono. That was about it. That was about it. But not, there was no one that had ADHD. There was no one that, and also look at all the vaccines that kids have nowadays too. In order to go to school, they have to have I think by the time they're 18, they've had 50 or more vaccinations. That's insane. No wonder they have gut problems. No wonder they're having ADD. No wonder they're having anxiety. Well, we keep injecting them with crap.
And I keep reading more and more, and I think we're going to hear more and more about it, is that we're living in the biggest, I guess it's not pandemic, but the biggest issue, one of the biggest issues we face is vitamin D deficiency. Have you read about this? Lot about it. Yeah, it seems like almost every day there's something about it. We're vitamin D deficient. People kids aren't going in the sun. They're not playing. They're sitting in their rooms. They have, when I used to ground my son.
Here's the perfect example. They're doing what we're doing right now. They're in front of a screen. We're getting positive ions, and you and I both know there's nothing positive about positive ions.
Okay, because look, we're protecting.
I know. Wait for mine to come in the mail. I should be getting mine soon.
Yeah, here, we'll protect us both for now. All right, you guys. So that's it for us. Want to thank you so much for jumping on. But I do want you to think about what did you do in someone won the jackpot.
Yeah, right.
There we go. So I want you to think about something you said you were going to do in 2024 and you did not. You didn't accomplish it for whatever reason, but I want you to write it down because, again, keeping score is so important. It's important to know not just what maybe and remember, failure is not a bad thing as long as you keep moving forward, right? Failure just helps you learn how to move forward the next time and not make the same mistakes, right? So let's look at
I fail every day.
Yeah. If you're not failing, it means you're not trying enough. That's what I think, right?
Yeah,
as long as you're trying.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with hitting singles, guys. I mean, not everything has to be a home run. I mean, just you're getting there. I mean, I honestly, my wife will joke with me and say, Chris, I really think you're on the slow bus way too much. But I go, yeah, but no matter what, I'm still moving forward. Yeah, I may be on the slow bus, especially remember, I married up with her. Okay, so she's on a different level. She's on roller skates. I'm on the slow bus. Okay, so that's how that goes.
That's so funny. So take this to heart. I want you to think about this for the next week or two, because come New Year's, we are going to be a little harsher. We're going to be a little more accountability, a little more. If you say you're going to do it, do it. Don't say yes and then do no, right? And we're going to keep track more. We're going to keep track of progress better in the new year. And so I want you to start thinking about, what is it that keeps you from moving forward? Like, there's something you put on your New Year's list. There's something you put on your bucket list. There's something you wanted this year that you just didn't get. And what was it that kept you from getting it? So we're going to talk about that over the next 2 weeks on our training. So keep that in mind. And remember, I'm not just the quarterback here, right? Chris is not just the quarterback. You are the quarterback for your team. You owe it to them to keep moving forward and to keep taking action and keep showing them that it's possible. If you can do it, they can do it, right? If you're not doing it, they're not going to do it. Still, people say to this day, why isn't my team moving? Why isn't my team going anywhere? Well, what would happen if Tom Brady walked off the field? His team's not going to go anywhere or win anything or do anything. You're Tom Brady. You need to do the actions first, so your team knows it's possible and that you have their back and that you're doing everything possible to move them one step forward every single day. So with that,
I got
go
one
ahead.
one more thing to see on top of that is, one of my mentors has told me many times, goes, it is your moral obligation to share with as many people as possible something good and healthy for them that can make an everlasting change in their health and well-being. And just think about that. If I knew something that can make a difference in someone's life, it's my moral obligation to tell them that, especially with my patients. I'm always going to CE credits, continuing education. I'm always learning more and more and more, because honestly, that's my job as a practitioner. Is I got to have more value to provide them. Yet I want them not to suffer. And as Sandy always tells me, hey Chris, suffering's optional. Just do it this way, okay? So same thing. Hit singles. It's our moral obligation to tell people the good news so they feel go and how it can make a change in their lives and in many different facets. And remember, nothing wrong with hitting singles, just one day at a time.
That's right. All right, everyone. We'll see you next time. Thanks.
Really, Klikamaka.